The George Black House and Brickyard is located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at 111 Delabrook Road.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina is deeply rooted in American history. With 125 National Historic Sites, this city has left its mark, and so did George Black, an African-American entrepreneur, innovative and well-respected in a time where African Americans struggled for equality. I'm here today at the George Black House and Brickyard. I spoke with Evelyn Terry, Mr. Black's granddaughter, a phenomenal woman who diligently strives to bring awareness and pay tribute to her grandfather's great contribution.
This is the home of my grandfather, George Black, who's known as the last handmade brick maker in America. George Black is a gentleman who walked to Forsyth County in the year 1889 with his father and an older brother, and looking for a better life.
Evelyn Terry feels today's society doesn't value hard work the way her grandfather did.
He did not accept adversity as an excuse for doing nothing.
In those times, racism was still very prevalent, but that didn't stop George Black from pursuing his dreams.
He knew the circumstances in which he was born, and he knew the circumstances that he found when he and his father and his brother walked here. He had tough times. He endured indignities, but he did not allow them to hinder him from doing his best with everything.
Evelyn Terry remembers sitting at her grandfather's feet as a young girl. She reflects on his words of wisdom.
To do what is right because it is right and not because anybody's watching.
Miss Terry shares her hopes of the future for the George Black House and Brickyard.
I would love to be able to have the school system throughout the state of North Carolina bring children here to let them understand and know that there were people who lived and who managed to create a life and a legacy by working, by what they were able to learn and do. Skilled craftsmen. Education is a necessity, but there is also a need to learn how to work.
The legacy of George Black teaches strong will and persistence. It's amazing what one man can do with his hands, a little water, sand, and red clay. From the belly of the earth to laying a foundation for homes, banks, hospitals, and many other businesses, local and foreign.
The place became a local landmark designated property here in Forsyth County back in October of 2011. And that's when, in earnest, I said, we really have to do something to get this piece of property restored and make it useful, let it live and breathe, to tell not only the story of George Black, but to also help us move young people with a vision for the future by looking back and seeing what happened here.
The George Black House is currently being renovated and restored. Miss Terry is reaching out to the community for help.
Any donation can be made to the George Black House and Brickyard by making a deposit at BB&T Bank here in Winston-Salem, any branch.
George Black was a man before his time, an innovative entrepreneur who changed his life and impacted many others, one brick at a time. For the Force Report, I'm Monica Cooper.